Greetings, community, and welcome to NCBD Comics and another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 8/13/2025. And here we are once again, and it's great to be alive. I appreciate each and every one of you that cruise on through on the rewind. Without you, it'd only be half as much fun as it actually is. So I want to go ahead and just say thank you. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and start it off with... Sorry. There we are. Dynamite. There you go. Dynamite. It's going to bring us Space Ghost Volume 2, Issue number 1. This is something I've been looking forward to for a little bit. I did talk to David Papos, which is the writer of this title, and he made mention to me that he is online to go ahead and give us a minimum of 27 issues. With that, if I recall that number correct, and what that essentially will do is go ahead and give us 2 solid volumes and 2 annuals and one shot. If I did all those numbers correctly, and if I understood what he was trying to tell me at the time, I did only have a limited amount of time to go ahead and speak with him, and he did try to cram as much info as I was trying to ask of. So I do believe I got that correct. So what I'm getting at is Dynamite bringing a Space Ghost to you and me on 8/2025. And again, that's an issue number 1 of the second volume. Let's go ahead and take a moment and say hi to those that cruise on in on the live. I want to say hi to first Christina that keeps cruising on with me and dancing, and appreciate you being here and hanging out. And Ben, yo, bro, how's it go? Appreciate you being here. It's been a bit. Goo, how you do? Hope all is well with you. And let's go ahead and finish out the list that we got because it's not that long. Just saying. Dynamite. That's it for you. Space Ghost, issue number 1, volume 2. Let's cruise out from there and cruise over to Image. Image is going to first start off with Bug Wars, issue number 6. If I recall, I thought issue number 5 was it. Got stated. Issue number 6 is something I'm quite looking forward to. I did finish out with issue number 5. I was a little bit horrified on really where this is getting at. I thought it was going to be a little bit of lighter of a tale that it is. Jason Aaron does nothing short of just writing stories that really grab you, hold you there, and then throw so many emotions at you while you're held down. And then he kind of lets you go. And the next thing you know, you're held down by your own curiosity of what's next. So that's where we are with Bug Wars. I really initially wasn't going to go ahead and pick this title up. I got my hands on issue number 1. I was hooked. Then I thought it was only going to be a limited series of 6 issues, and that was it. Now I'm hearing it's going to be multiple volumes. Jason, you did it to me again. You wrote a brilliant story. You have great art in this thing. The pacing's awesome. The story in itself and of itself is amazing. And now you got me hooked, as you always do. Bug Wars issue number 6 coming out on 8/13/2025. Hey, Jag! Appreciate you being here, buddy. Hope all is well with you. Appreciate you. All right, let's cruise out from Bug Wars issue number 6 to talk about I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, issue number 5. This is actually the second on my list. I was actually kind of juggling between this one and my Blue Light special with Ultimate. This did not be. And I think the only reason why it won out is because the reasoning that I'm going to give you for my Blue Light special is not only true, but I found myself doing it over and over. As with, when I'm reading any Doug Wagner book, I'm really so in awe of what's going on, and I'm trying to figure out not necessarily what's happening in the story, but how things can get to such a level in such a degree that when I read these stories from Doug, especially, these hardcore serial killer style stories, more times than not, things hit me in an epiphany, and there's usually some forms of philosophy, there's morals, there's ethics in there. That's why it takes me back. So the only reason why this lost out is for what you're going to hear me say at the Blue Light special, and only for that reason. But wow, I am so taken back by everything that Doug Wagner does that it just missed out on this week's Blue Light special by like just I can't even measure. Moving out from I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer, issue number 5. That finalizes that series. And let's talk about Transformers issue number 23. I did finish reading issue number 21 the other night. I logging in. I actually have 22 sitting in there. Right there. I'm ready to read, hopefully tonight. And Transformers, man, there's many a times when what I'm doing is I'm catching myself like getting tense or starting to white knuckle things, or at times go, yeah, just out of nowhere. And I look around and go, thank God I'm by myself, because as the story ramps up and as the gravitas to everything that's transpiring in these stories between Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals, and being that they're all now is not as interdependent as they used to be, and now rather a little codependent on the storylines, this is ramping up like, oh my God, like I was hoping it would be, and I can't get enough now. We're 2 years deep in these storylines, and Transformers doing nothing but accelerating along with the other two stories that support it, and it's just like this centrifuge or something that just keeps spinning faster and faster. I'm just holding on for the ride, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. Transformers issue number 23 coming out to you and me on 8/13/2025. Let's cruise out from Image, cruise over to Marvel. This is, we're going to end our series because there's only 4 titles in this. This week's not that big, and I'm so grateful. Let's first talk about, and I agree with you, Agu, just saying, and thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Let's leave that up there for a moment. Marvel's going to first start off with one title that I've been really enjoying so far, bringing out from Charles Soule. He's been doing a wonderful job on Eddie Brock, Carnage, and it's going to be issue number 7. As we saw way back through 5 and into 6, and it all started from issue number 1, but what I'm pointing is Eddie knew he couldn't trust Carnage. Carnage is trying to just utilize what little he needs of Eddie. His ultimate goal would love to be able to kill him, but he needs a symbiotic relationship to go ahead and this codependency to find something better. Muse seemed like a go ahead and be that ultimate dream for Carnage, and it was a perfect bait to go ahead and dangle out from Brock to Carnage to go ahead and try to trap Carnage in a situation that was what Brock thought. For this, Carnage is going to go ahead and give him information that he didn't necessarily want to give. They both ended up in a catch-22 scenario where neither one of them ended up profiting very well on each other's capitalization on what they thought they were going to do to one another. What I'm getting at this is both of them are in a rather not very good position. It's hard to really put it. They're both in a disadvantage to one another, but worst of all, what they've done is they have garnered the attention of Muse, who I thought, and I think everyone else did, was dead. It just keeps getting better. Moving out from Eddie Brock, Carnage, issue number 7. Let's talk about Miles Morales, issue number 36. I usually rarely hear me say things like this, but all I can really say is, yo, bro, how's it go? Hope you doing well. This is a key. I mean, I really want to give too much more. I do know there's some spoilers in there, but this is one of those times when you're actually going to kind of hear me say it, and I said it just once, and that's it. But aside from that, really what we're getting is 3 solid years plus of Cody Ziegler, killing it with the storyline. He's really been doing really well with not only a consistent story and with Miles, but something that has been on this evolutionary plateau, because he devolved in a point from going into this vampiric situation, had to go ahead and utilize the help of Wakanda. He thought he had control over everything, which seemed like he does. But the only way you can go do so is he basically made a bunch of deals with a bunch of gods, who ends up finding out that he's nothing but a puppet too. This is wrapping up to be awesome. And I can't wait to see what happens in 36. Seriously, because when we're talking about when others are excited about a key issue in the Miles Morales, which is usually something that usually doesn't get a whole lot of attention from a lot of people, especially key collector. That means this thing's kind of knocking it out of the park, in my opinion. Just saying. Miles Morales, issue number 36. Oh, man, it's going to be awesome. Let's cruise out from that, and let's cruise over to Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, issue number 3. Have to admit, I haven't read 2. Got it in the box. About to do. Just saying. You saw, I just did my pre-order stuff. I'm a little behind. All right, I'm 3 weeks behind. I'm getting close. I ended up doing a lot of logging in books, and Incursion is also in that pile. I'm gonna hopefully try to read that thing maybe tomorrow. I really been enjoying how this Ultimate stuff has been brewing. We do know that between the Spider-Verse and the Venomverse and what's going on with that, we have this Ultimate War. This is, to me, in part, just kind of like on the side, but it does have some meaning information between the two, even though they're completely independent of one another. They have some dependence. Ultimately, what it does boil down is it has an ultimate dependence on what's going on in this ultimate universe. It seems like to me what's going down is this is a bigger bridge than anything else outside of the ultimate storyline that's going on to where we're getting at, to this pinnacle that we know we're going to get to. What is that, the end of November and the beginning of December? So to me, this is that side story that is ramping up and giving us that almost that crescendo, that where it's just that building a suspense, and to me, this is one of those stories that's building upon that other storyline. And I just can't wait to get into issue number 2 before I get into 3, but I'm looking forward to it. But however, that being stated, you know what we're all here for. That's right. This week's Blue Light Special is Ultimates, issue number 15. I was catching myself just the other day reading it as, what was it, day for yesterday, and I was cheering. I end up, when they're recruiting the people of the world, hey, look, this is not about us. This is about us. It's not about mutants. It's not about what they refer to as the freaks or the aliens or anything else. This is about us. There's no difference. You can categorize, you can buy a skin or a superpower or a cape or a spandex. The reality is when these makers are loose, if we don't find a way to work together, that's it. Game's over. And the whole ultimate universe, this whole ultimates getting together, the fact that individuals even already had to die to go ahead and obtain the ability to grant others their abilities to fight what's supposed to happen at the end of this year, that's where we're getting. And I got caught up in that. Not just in issue number 1, but all the way up to issue number 14. I was yelling like I said, when they're recruiting these individuals in 13 and 14, they're telling everybody, look, this is what's going on as far as just the average everyday person, building these apps, having people know that they count as much as anyone else, as much as everything matters as much as they are matter. And that's what it was cool, is that inclusion of understanding that we're all in this is what made me realize that this book's got me. It really has gotten me. It's gotten me in a way that where it's allowed me to go ahead and disconnect from the things that's going on, but also ultimately, use a little pun, be able to draw some, correlations, some, intersecting lines. And the beauty about that is it's cool to see, at least on a fictional level, what seems like to be that the right powers that are doing the right things, seemingly for the right reasons, hoping and ultimately, to use it again, will win this final battle when the makers are released. And that's why this week's Ultimates issue number 15 was my Blue Light Special. It's just getting me cheering, yelling, screaming, laughing, nearly crying. And with its ultimate goal, Ultimates issue number 15, I believe, is ultimately awesome. And this week's Blue Light Special. I appreciate each and every one of you that cruises on through. Christina, as always. Vet, dude, appreciate you, brother. Ben, Agu, Jag, as always, man, you like being solid. And anyone else that I may have missed, either on the live and or on the rewind, I appreciate you greatly. And without you, it wouldn't be half as much fun as it is. Until next time, that's it for me. Entropy, you stay well.